So, guys, I want you to tell me what is the oldest bit of kit, electrical kit, that you might have in your room there, Tom, or even in your home. And it can be anything. It doesn't have to be audio. It could be a kitchen utensil. It could be something that, I don't know, has been in the cupboard under the stairs for a couple of decades. Maybe something that your parents gave you. I don't know. Shall I go first? Because I'm desperate. I'm desperate to tell you why I want to talk about old bits of kit. I have acquired, this is so sad, I have acquired a 1947 Bush Sug 3 radio. I won't bore you. Well, it's not about boring you, but the reasons behind it are quite complicated. But someone knows that I've done a bit of radio in the past, and through my wife said, we thought Duncan might be interested in this. Now, I'm not technically minded, okay? I can't take apart stuff if it doesn't work. But I know a little bit about making sure that things won't blow up when I plug them in. So I plugged it in yesterday. And this old bit of kit, this old radio, operates by valves.
I don't know. You have to explain.
How would we explain valves, Tom? What's the best way of explaining how the valve works?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's two of us.
I'll have a go. Bearing in mind now I got a D in science at school. Basically, you plug it in and you turn it on, and the valves have to warm up to actually power the radio. So we now live in an age, right, where you flick a switch and it's there instantly. And I'd forgotten that this Sug 3 1947 Bush radio had valves in it. So I was told it worked, and it's from someone who used to repair things and stuff. So I gingerly plugged it in. And before I did so, I said to a mate of mine on WhatsApp, a guy called Phil, who's an engineer, I said, what should I do with this? And he said, plug it in the back garden, just in case it blows up. I was like, right. So I ended up moving it out to the back garden. Well, we kind of have some paving slabs. It's not really a garden. And got an extension lead, and I ran that out to the garden, and I plugged that into the plug in one of the rooms on the inside. I switched that on. I switched on the extension lead, and then I gingerly switched on this very old radio. You've got to imagine it's about, I should have described it. It's about waist height. 2/3 of it, the speaker, it's one big speaker. Then the top bit is this old fashioned dial, and it's got 3 Bakelite knobs on the front of it. The side knob is for tuning. One of the front knobs is the on and off switch and a kind of volume. The one in the middle is, what does the one in the middle do? It's like tone or bass, but it's just one thing. So you turn it one way, it's a little bit more sparky. You turn it the other, it's more bassy. And the other one is the band selector. And I'll talk about the bands in a second. So I put it on medium wave, right? Because there are still some medium wave radio stations broadcasting. So I flicked it all on, and I was sitting there thinking, nothing's happening. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I've not switched on the extension lead. And I checked it on, it was fine. But of course, with the valves, a valve-driven radio, the valves have to warm up. So after about 45 seconds, there was a slight crackle. I thought, well, this is good. And I got the tuning knob, and I moved it around, and I found BBC Radio 5 Live, right? And then I fine-tuned it with one of the other knobs, and it sounded amazing. It sounded absolutely amazing, because the speaker, as I say, is a big old speaker. And I think that is the oldest bit of electrical kit that exists now in this house. So that's the reason I want to talk about it. And now I'm obsessed with old radios. Absolutely obsessed with old radios. I've been online and I've discovered that you can buy a kind of legal AM
You're going to have a
transmitter.
collection soon, aren't you?
Oh, I feel sorry for your wife. Is your house turning into a museum?
We'll get on to that in a second.
Yeah.
But I found this almost legal AM transmitter, which means that I can plug it in to an audio source and I can broadcast in a very close proximity to this house. I mean, it doesn't say it's illegal. Yeah. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to tune it in on my Bush Sug 3 1947 radio, just for lulz, really. And in answer to your other question or your observation, Hayley, I'm allowed one more. So I've already got a desktop bush that's a Bakelite thing that's from the 1950s. I've got that. I've got this new waist height one. And I did point out to Vicky, my wife, that things ought to come in threes. So she's agreed I can have one more. So there you are. But I just wanted to share that with you because it is deliciously retro.
Oh.
And I'm looking forward to when there's no one in the house in the autumn and winter months, firing it up in the evening because the dial at the top has a lovely orange glow. So I figure I should do that and find some obscure shortwave radio station from Marrakesh.
But it sounds quite big.
Something.
You said waist height, right?
Yeah, it's waist height. Yeah.
So where is it? Where does it live?
It's in the living room at the moment.
Oh. The living room.
Yeah.
God, your wife is so kind and patient.
What's the matter with that?
If it was my husband, I'd be like, you can have it, but it goes in the garden shed or somewhere that's out of sight, out of mind type thing.
But it looks like the Mutt's Nuts, right?
Right.
It looks nice. It's a lovely bit of furniture. It's kind of it's not mahogany teak, but it's that kind of colour.
Yeah.
So it's nice. It looks good. So anyway, I've waffled on far too much, but that's, I reckon, the oldest bit of kit in this house that still works. Anyone else got anything old that they still use?
I haven't got anything electrical, but what I have that I believe is probably from the 1940s or 50s is I've got these glass bowls that my mum gave me that we used to have every Christmas only, because every Christmas our starter is always prawn cocktail, because that's what my mum always served up. So a bit of lettuce, prawns, bit of sauce, tomatoes, maybe a bit of onion on top in these glass bowls. So we always used to have those from the moment I grew up, but I believe she had those also when she was growing up. But now, because we do Christmas at my house, because it's a bit of a faff for my mum to do now, I use them. So in my cupboard, and they only come out once a year, but they're in my glass cupboard. So every day I see them because I've only got one glass cupboard. So I've got the wine glasses right at the top that we hardly ever use. And I think they're at the top too. So every time I open them up to get a glass out for some squash, I see these little glass things, and they're actually really nice crystal. Like, I doubt that they're antiques, but they're really, I mean, the fact that they're still going and how many prawn cocktails must have been had in these glass bowls. But yeah, that's probably the oldest thing I've had.
I've got a question because I'm intrigued by this. So
prawns aren't kosher. No, that's the first question.
No, nothing to do with that. No. I love a prawn cocktail, proper old fashioned prawn cocktail. Lots of iceberg lettuce in there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the
bread
rosemary
and butter
sauce.
As well. You have
but
to have
you said you got wine glasses you hardly use. Are they for special occasion? Are they special wine
they're the
glasses?
special occasion ones and like the flute ones that, I mean, when do you ever have those? I think we had those once when we moved house because somebody bought us a bottle of champagne, but I don't really like champagne. Maybe that means I'm cheap, but I prefer wine to champagne. And other ones that are like coloured ones that are really nice that I think we probably got gifted as a wedding gift, but they're not really my taste, but I don't have the heart to get rid of them.
And what's
when
the
people
squash?
buy you stuff that you just feel you can't, you can't, in another world and another dimension, I'd give them to the charity shop. I wouldn't sell them. But what I fear is the person that bought them coming round to your house and saying, oh, shall we have some wine in those glasses I got you as a wedding gift 20 years ago? And can you imagine if you had to say, oh, I don't know where they are.
And you mentioned squash.
Yes, I love a squash.
Are you a squash drinker?
Yeah, orange and pineapple is my current favourite Tesco. Yeah. What do you drink in the summer?
Well, it's funny, you just triggered a memory, the squash thing, because I remember we used to have always on the kitchen side a bottle of Robinson's, was it barley? What was it called?
Barley water. Yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
But Tommy, what about you? What's the oldest thing?
Well, I've been trying to think of a clever answer.
Oh.
And I'm going with this one, inspired by something that Baz Luhrmann said in Sunscreen. The oldest thing I own is me. There's a great line in Why You Should Wear Sunscreen where he says, look after your body is the most amazing instrument you will ever own. And it sort of changed my thinking a bit about me. Because our body is the most remarkable instrument we own. It's incredible. But we still are more impressed with 1947 Bush radios. I know, I get that.
No, it's because it still works, Tom. I mean, it works better than I do. You know, that's quite an achievement.
Well, I've heard you take time to warm up.
It's about 45 seconds. And there's a slight glow.
I do remember the frisson of a cross between anticipation and fear. When you, little boy, no one was in the house, so you'd go and turn the radio on and nothing. And there'd be this silence and you'd think, oh, I've broken it. Now I'm in for it. And then this voice would start to grow and get louder. You know, it might be the football results. You hear, Tranmere 1, as it comes, it warms up and does that. No, a lot of my comedy is very old and decrepit, but I adhere to it. We've got a few knickknacks in the odds and sods drawer, and we don't know what they are.
Yeah,
same with you guys.
We've got a lot of radiator. What are they called? The things that are like right angles. You'll know, you're men. What are those things that you use to like unscrew things and do the radiators when they need airing?
Oh, Allen keys.
Allen keys. We've got about 50 of those in every drawer in my kitchen. And I keep saying to my husband, do we really need all these things? Yes, we do. Don't get rid of anything.
You get a fresh Allen key or 2 or 3 every time you buy an IKEA waste paper basket or something.
Yes.
And you save them. Because
men
what could you do with...
I don't know, but men do. I don't think that's a female thing. I'm sorry, but I'd love to hear from a female that's listening or watching right now that has got any Allen keys out of choice.
You know what nobody knows, and I have asked this question out loud once before, and somebody was kind enough to go and Google it, and I've forgotten what the answer is, but who was Alan?
He had lots
Why
of keys.
Why has he got so many keys?
Yeah.
Yes. And how do you spell Allen key?
Oh.
It's with an E, isn't it?
I don't know.
But is it 2 L's, which makes it
is
more
2
of a
L's,
surname?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, Allen. So who could that be? It was not Steve Allen, isn't it? He doesn't strike me as a man who has his own keys.
No, probably got a butler or something, I'm guessing.
No, I think you combination lock, Steve Allen, but we'll come back to that another time.
It can't be Neil Allen, the sports editor of the Portsmouth News. He's Len, isn't he?
I don't know. It's we've got this thing as well. It's a hook with a scale on it, and it's got a big spring inside it. And you could, if you wanted to, weigh a sack of potatoes with it. But the thing is this, we don't know where we got it from. Because it wasn't under the Christmas tree for any of us.
I've seen those. It's got a hook, and it's got a little, like a metal gauge on the front.
Yeah, and you
wasn't
can
that
attach
for weighing your luggage before you get on an aeroplane?
No, we do what everybody does, which is to get on the scales, see how much you weigh, and then pick up the suitcase.
I've never done that.
I've never done that, but that is a really good idea, thinking about it.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It is. I've been trying to do it with our dog, who might have just heard. She's just been to the groomers, and she weighs 35 kilos, which they said is about 3 kilos too much for a golden retriever. But a dog weighing machine, obviously you don't need one, Duncan, because your dog, you can just estimate, look at it, it's 2.5 pounds, isn't it? Something like that. Well,
last time Bertie went to the vet, they put him on the scales, and they have this, I don't know what it's like in your vet, but it's on the floor, it's slightly raised, and literally they encourage them to hop up on it. It's like a big black bit of metal, and he was classed as overweight.
I think there are a lot of overweight dogs about.
And he's a sausage dog.
Those things, a miniature sausage dog, did you not tell me?
Yeah, he's mostly a miniature sausage dog, crossed with a slightly grumpy Maltese terrier.
He's a great dog. I looked it up on Amazon, a dog weighing set of scales, and they all come in at around about 170, 180 quid. So that's a bit too much. So what I've been trying to do is pick her up, get on the scales that we've got in our bedroom, like you do, and then put the dog down and see what the difference is. But she's not interested in it, and she is 35 kilograms, which is, a decent weight if something is animated. What else have we got? We've got a thing that is probably a 16th or 17th century horse brass that I found in a field where we used to live, in a little village up the road from where we are now. And it's a beautiful thing. It's beautifully made. but I can't work out exactly how it was used because I don't know anything about horse tack.
So what is it like?
That's
One
what
of
they
those
call it,
horse
isn't it?
things? The horse
I just don't know what it
I
is.
don't know what it is.
But we had an infestation of rodents a while ago, and a man came round to clear the foundations of our house. It was a bit scary for everybody else. I wasn't bothered. And it turned out that he was a metal detectorist. As you would expect a pest controller, somehow there's a concomitance there, don't you think? Somehow. And I said to him, did you ever find any bodies? And he went, yes, I did. He said, I found a body of a 400-year-old knight who was making a crusade from Tunbridge to Winchester when he was attacked and robbed of all his valuables by some ne'er-do-wells.
Wow.
Who sliced off the top of his head. And it was his head that he found with his metal detector.
Underneath your house?
No. In a field quite a ways away.
Oh.
But, so I showed him the horse brass because he was also an expert on medieval history. Again, very concomitant for a pest controller come metal detectorist. Oh, I'm going through a judgmental phase here. And he said, he said about 1700, it's a horse brass. But then when you've got it, what do you do with it? You can't put it on the wall. You can't display it. You can't get it out when people come round and say, hey, do you want to see a 17th century horse brass?
Tom, I'm struggling to picture this.
Yeah,
Is it the kind of thing that you'd see in what I would call an oldie worldy country pub alongside the Toby jugs on the shelf? And it would be like maybe
exactly
on a bit of leather and then tacked into a beam or something.
That's exactly right.
Right. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I think you should find a Shire horse to give it to.
My favourite ever closing line of a sitcom, no, not a sitcom, a light entertainment vehicle, was when I fell in love with Vic Reeves, who's a great man.
Yeah.
Brilliant artist.
Yeah.
Now. And he closed the show with Bob Mortimer, and he just went, join us at the same time next week when we'll be presenting the show live from within the liver of a Shire horse. And I thought, okay, I've got you. Not everybody will get you, but I've got you.
He's interesting.
Since you mentioned Shire horses.
Yeah, well, he's given it all up, hasn't he, to pursue his art, which is, I think, fascinating. Yeah.
He's very competent, and that is the first port of call for an artist. Doesn't matter how much creative genius you've got, you have to have the technical skills of applying the paint to the canvas or whatever, and he's got that. And his stuff, some of his bird paintings, they're totally professional.
Yeah.
And brilliant. And what's happened is that Bob Mortimer's gone on to be amongst the funniest people in British entertainment, hasn't he? He can just hold his own with that Would I Lie to You? And just make everybody cry with laughter. He's got a toaster by his bed is one that I saw. So he doesn't have to get out in the morning.
That's a good idea, actually.
He's got that knack where what he says is just enough to be believable, which is part of it. I like him on that program with Paul Whitehouse called Gone Fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to fish. I don't know if, Tom, did you used to fish at all?
I tried it once. No, I tried it twice. The first time my hat blew off and the second time I was sick.
Oh.
Why? Why were you sick?
How were you sick standing still? It's not like you can get seasick.
No, I've transferred the punchline from a different joke about two women. One was Les, what's his face, and the other one was the person. They were two dressed as women.
Oh, Les Dawson and
Barry.
Alec. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Well, one of them's talking about sex, and the other one's talking about sailing, and they're not listening to each other. So you get this moment where she says, "Fred and I tried it twice. The first time he was sick, and the second time his hat blew off."
Yeah.
It's such a good line. How did I get there? What is going on in the head?
Fishing
at the moment.
Fishing. No, I mean,
fishing.
Yeah, no, I tried it once. I thought there must be something in it because where we live quite close to the Thames, it's festooned with men in canvas seats with tins of lager in the water to keep them coolish. So I thought there must be something in it, but didn't catch anything, and I never went back. Have you fished, Hayley? You never see women fishing.
No.
You never see women fishing.
It just looks so boring. What do you look at? Because it's like you're waiting on the never ever, aren't you? Like, you don't know. You could be there 10 minutes or you could be 10 hours waiting for something, right?
Yes, there's a YouTube thing gone viral at the moment about two. I think they're fishermen who are saving a cygnet that's been caught up in fishing line. You know, and these men are being lauded as heroes. Now, I don't know if they are fishermen or they just found the cygnet and rescued it. But if they are fishermen, did it not occur to them that all the debris that they leave around, those horrible hooks, you know, that go flying through the air when they, you know, cast like that. And then the animal comes out and they have to decide whether they're going to put it back with a hole in its face or kill it. And they actually, you fishermen, anglers can buy this special murdering hammer for killing fish with a blow on the head because they want to take it home entire. So I'm not into angling. I used to go out with a girlfriend once who was very, very animal welfare conscious. And she used to embarrass me because if we were driving from Sunbury to Kingston along by the Thames, she would wind the window down of her car and scream at these fishermen, "Murderers! Murderers!"
Is that the one you gave up meat for?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
But she had quite a hold then, didn't she? Or did she just shout at you as well all day? Murder.
No, she was an Italian girl. She was striking. I'm not going into details, but she managed to make love like an endangered species, if you see what I'm driving at there. With the sort of sense that it was not only pleasurable, but it was one's duty to maintain the head count of humanity.
So when did you finally go back to eating meat?
When my eldest son was old enough to sit at the kitchen table and notice that Mum had some roast lamb and he had some roast lamb and I didn't. Huh? And you can't be certain that children don't need some of the things that you can only get in meat. Vitamin B12 is a good example. They can't create it in a laboratory. It's not a crucial vitamin, but it helps with immunities and things. And I thought, I'm not going to force him. So I I forget what my first meat meal in 10 years was, but it was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
When did you have your first burger, Hayley?
Oh.
Out of the house, i.e. eating out.
It would have been at Wimpy at Charing Cross Station because I used to get the train home from school every day from Charing Cross. Yeah. And I remember there was a big Wendy's at Piccadilly Circus at one point that was a real treat, but that was only like half-term summer holidays. Yeah. And then one opened at Charing Cross Station. And as soon as I started getting pocket money, I couldn't afford one every week because they were still, I was only getting like £2 a week, or I can't remember what I got for pocket money, but it definitely wasn't enough for a burger. But every other week I'd save up enough money. So then maybe on a Friday after school, but I'd have to eat it on the train home because I knew my mum wasn't the biggest fan of me eating fast food. So I'd have to eat it on the train on the way home from school and then make sure I didn't have any tomato sauce on my face or anything. So when I got off the train from school, I'd then have to have my dinner again. I was one of those kids who had like 2 dinners and never told their parents. Maybe they knew. I always wonder that. Did they really know? I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember, and the gherkin was the best part of it.
Oh, you like?
Because they don't often do that, do they? It's always the American chains that always have a gherkin. That's like a staple thing.
A slice of a wally, I think is another name for them.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, so
big thick slice.
Yeah, and I remember all the sauce would go everywhere, and just delightful. I love a burger.
Guilty pleasures. Have you guys got any guilty pleasures? What I do sometimes, if no one's looking, I'll go to the larder, and if we've got a jar of gherkins, big ones, Wallies, right? I'll take the top off and I'll...
the sauce, really?
Swig, yes. It is huge. In America, the tennis players now all drink pickle juice during a game because it wards off muscle cramps. And it tastes delicious.
Do you know what? I can try it. I've got a jar of gherkins in the fridge.
Go for it.
I've never... I always normally drain them out. I don't
throw it away along with all those little seeds and bits of looks like bits of birds' nests.
I feel like I've got FOMO now. I'm going to try it later.
Excellent.
And report back.
Excellent.
My first burger, well, not my first one, but I have a very clear memory of when McDonald's opened in Western Road in Brighton. And I'd previously had McDonald's in London, which was always a treat because that's, obviously living on the South Coast, there weren't any McDonald's. And then one opened in Brighton. So we used to, me and my mum used to get the train to McDonald's in Western Road. But you know what you mentioned? Hayley, Wendy's Burgers.
Yeah.
That place, there was a phase I went through about 30 years ago with a couple of mates. We used to drive up from the South Coast to Piccadilly. I can't remember where we used to park, but we used to go to Tower Records that used to be opposite Wendy's Burgers and spend our money on records and then go over the road and go to Wendy's. And I remember the first time I had a Wendy's burger and I didn't actually want to bite into it because I was genuinely fascinated by their shape. And the thing is, Tom, they're square burgers. That's their kind of trademark. And you just kind of it took about a few minutes to get your head around the fact that look at this burger. This burger's not round. It's square.
I think they call it a patty, don't they?
Tasted amazing.
Yeah.
At the burger joint that used to be down the road from where you live, actually, Duncan, that shop with marble pillars. It's a clothes shop now.
Oh, it used to be a cinema, yeah. And then it became a McDonald's.
I wasn't going to mention the name McDonald's because of the very disturbing story that I have to tell, but shall I go ahead?
Well, it's obviously unrelated, so carry on.
Yes. So there used to be a hardware store in Chichester, more or less opposite that McDonald's, called Messen, where they would sell screwdrivers. You could buy a single screw. They would sell you a single screw.
Men in brown coats.
Yes. And I used to chat with them quite a bit. And so one day the fellow behind the till, he said, we're all in a state of shock, really. He said, because a young man came in a couple of days ago, purchased a sheath knife, and went back and slayed somebody in McDonald's with it. And I said, I would have expected that to be on the news. They said, well, it was a terrible thing. I said, well, what do you know about it? They said, well, he was an disgruntled employee who had a grudge against the manager. So he waited until it was his lunch break. And he came across to us, bought a sheath knife, and went back to McDonald's and committed murder.
Blimey.
And to this day, I'm fascinated by the fact that although he was prepared to commit the most heinous crime in English law, murder, he wasn't prepared to leave the shop except when it got to be his lunch break. So he had this sort of clearly defined morality about him, or fear of authority, but at the same time it didn't extend to showing some mercy to a colleague. So I've often gone back to that little story and tried to work out why he waited. If he was that ready to do murder, why didn't he just walk out and do what he did? But he didn't. He waited until it was his lunch break.
Yeah.
There's an entire conference there.
There is. Yeah. Tragic state of affairs, that incident. Can we spend a few minutes just wrapping up this episode talking about something you mentioned there, Tom? Because that hardware store, moving on a little bit from the tragedy, was one of those last examples of proper old school retail, wasn't it? Because just to put it into context, Hales, this was, a shop that I'm just trying to think.
Are you talking like open all hours type?
Yes, exactly that.
Handles.
Exactly that. Yeah. And it's somewhere that I used to go, and you go in on a bit of a punt, and you just go, I don't look, I need one of these. And they go, yeah, you go, what? You got one? And they go, yeah, we got several. Really? And just when you thought you'd given up all hope on, finding, some nut or bolt for something that's, not working in your home or whatever, or some gizmo, you go in there and not only was the product range just vast, but also the knowledge was amazing as well. Because you'd have conversation, well, what you need to do is this, and you go, blimey, this is fantastic. But sadly, it's no longer there.
Is that what they call haberdashery type shops, isn't it? Or not?
Yes.
I don't know.
We had one where I used to live in Richmond in London, and you go in there and it was really daunting because the two middle-aged elderly men who worked there had a counter that was about 6 feet high, and they were standing on a raised platform on the other side of the counter. I always wanted to ask why.
Yeah.
But it gave them a sense of superiority over everybody. So that if you went in and said, I'd like some round-headed nails, please, and they'd come back with, how long do you want them? And you'd do that joke, actually, I thought I'd keep them. And the bloke who was serving you just used to lean back and shout into the wings where his colleague was, Eric, we got one, come here. If in asking for whatever it is I wanted, the tool or the device or whatever, I betrayed any amount of ignorance about it, they would share the joke. They would have a party about these stupid customers that you get.
Yeah.
They don't know anything. And it was very much their sort of emotional currency that customers are all stupid. And they'd say it out loud.
Wow.
God, I don't know.
I know what kind of shop you mean, and it's always rammed, isn't it? Like literally there's no spare space on the wall, is there? It's just hooks and shelves everywhere. It's like a den, isn't it? And and what fascinates me is that you can go in and ask for something and they know exactly where it is. Where if you try to do that in Tesco's even, and you just say, right, where's the yogurt? Sometimes the people look at you that work there bemused, like, oh, I'm not sure what aisle that's on. Try down there. It might be down there. And you think you work here. How do you not know where the yogurt is?
Yeah, or even worse, you go, where's the cereal, please? And they go, it's over by the crisps. Where are the crisps?
Yeah.
Well, just go right where the milk is. What? Don't know where the milk is.
I got to know the lady who does the newspaper stand in one of our big supermarkets. And we were chatting about it, and I said, how many time wasters have you got working here? Oh, she said, must be getting on for half of them. Don't do any work, but they manage to look busy all day long.
Yeah.
So one of them loves being asked, where's the cereal? Because she will then escort that person to, it might only be over there, but she's not going to point to it. She'll go, come with me. She'll march them to the cereal.
And probably the long way round as well, right? So won't go straight there. We'll take a diversion.
Because she doesn't want to actually do any work, which is turning bottle rounds in shelves so the labels face out. I mean, it's not exactly, challenging work, so I can understand that. But then this colleague said, what she then does is she stands and talks to them for 10 minutes as though she's being a good shop assistant and advising them on which of the cereals would be best for their 8-year-old. But in actual fact, all she's doing is not working.
Yeah.
And then when eventually it's time to part, she'll make her way very reluctantly back to where she's turning round the labels to make sure they all face outwards. And the woman said, we've got loads of colleagues like that, managed to look busy so that the supervisors can't say to them, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think there's a skill in that as well, though, because I know when I was growing up, one or two of my first jobs, like in call centres and stuff, there were tricks that you could use to not take calls. Because, in a call centre, it just keeps coming. And I don't know what the tricks are now, but I know that there are a few, like, when you got in there, you kind of got to know the people that really knew the inside, like really train me how to not do the job type thing, how to get away with it at least as possible. So I think I probably did that when I was younger. So I think. Have you ever put anybody on hold that you didn't need to and made them listen? Oh yeah, I think that was one of the tricks as well. You put them on hold. You say you were going to ask a manager, but of course you're never asking a manager. I asked to speak to my supervisor. Yeah, and you never did. Yeah,
I used to do it all the time. I had a temp job for about 9 months, working at a call centre that was part of the sell-off of British Telecom. When in the late 80s, early 90s, the government of the day thought it was good to sell off all of these utilities to people. And people would phone up a number and they'd want to buy shares. It's a very simple process, and you had a load of FAQs, as you call them, but also you take their details of like, so Mr. Shah, that'll be 100 shares in, for BT3 and all of this. And you're right, there are loads of tricks. And actually, if you were hungover, and I often was, you just go, so I just need to put you on hold to check your account. And absolutely, you just spend 7 minutes staring at a screen, trying not to doze off. Should I read out the contact details?
Why not?
Just to mention, now we're on YouTube, the comments section below, any comments you make, and we will get into the habit of reading some of those comments on future episodes, please do. So anything today off the back of, drinking pickle juice, supermarket skives, call centre skives, burgers or old bits of kit, let us know in the comments section below. Thank you. Get involved also on email. ramblingretrononsense@gmail.com is the email address, and you can WhatsApp as well, 07405 341 500. Hello to some of our new subscribers over the last couple of weeks, and please do hit the subscribe button on YouTube. If you're not listening on YouTube, then thank you for listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Till next time.